way or another, you have probably used palm oil today. Whether it's the food you ate, the soap with which you had your bath, the body cream you applied, or even your makeup, there are traces of palm oil in them. But like most other products we use, producing palm oil involves several processes and activities. What you get in the end is a bundle of benefits. And with that, I welcome you to another exciting edition of Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria. Tonight, we shall focus on just one commodity, the special palm oil, or what is called red oil in Nigerian parlance. We'll probe the place of Nigeria within the global palm oil industry, the journey so far, potentials, challenges, and what can be done to occupy a more significant position in global palm oil market. Let us launch tonight's edition with talking points from the recent events in the diary of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. Thanks for tuning in. In the news, Minister promises support for enhanced gum arabic production, and also Ministry to regulate fertilizer in Nigeria.
Gum collection or gathering is a source of revenue in rural areas.
Minister of State for Agriculture and Rural Development, Mustafa Shehure, has disclosed the federal government's intention to promote the production of improved seedlings for gum arabic in the country. He said this is in a bid to help the country take back its rightful place as one of the biggest producers of the commodity in the world. Speaking during the recent Gum Arabic Transformational Roadmap meeting held in Abuja, the Minister of State observed that gum arabic has multifaceted uses and huge economic potentials if properly harnessed.
Gum collection or gathering is a source of revenue in rural areas. It generates employment for the youth and women and also has huge foreign exchange potentials to the country. The promotion of gum arabic plantation have the potentials to act as shelter belt, thereby reducing the problem of desert encroachment, environmental degradation, and poor soil nutrition.
He decried the declining rate of gum arabic production in Nigeria and said that the country must also look beyond production and embrace value addition as well as exporting more than 95% of its output in raw form results in significant loss of revenues.
Increasing Nigerian gum arabic production from its current status of about 23,040 metric tons by 20% will create about 500 new jobs, estimated at about $3 million additional income, while value addition through the processing of gum arabic will create additional $215 million US dollars, basically for youth and women in rural communities.
On his part, the national president of Gum Arabic Producers, Processors and Exporters of Nigeria, NAGAPEN, His Royal Highness Eze Chidume Okoro, said that attention must be shifted to the commodity as it is not just used in food and pharmaceuticals, but several other industries as well.
It is a stabilizer, it's an anti-foaming material for those of you that drink beer. When you see the foam, it is gum arabic that controls the foam, otherwise it will foam too much. It's a stabilizer for cereal, infant foods, improving the shelf life. It is a binder in lithographic and printing industries, like in textiles, in the printing of currencies, gum arabic is used. In ceramic glazing, what makes it to glaze is gum arabic. It is the cigarette wrap, for those of you that smoke, the cigarette wrap, because it is biodegradable, completely biodegradable, it is the gum that is used to wrap cigarettes. And the implementation. Thank you.
Agriculture and Rural Development has begun the operationalization of the National Fertilizer Quality Control Act of 2019 in a bid to regulate the manufacture, production, blending, importation, sale and distribution of fertilizer in the country. During his opening remarks at a workshop organized for the purpose weeks ago, Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Mohammed Sabo Nanono commended the President Muhammadu Buhari administration for bridging a gap that has existed for more than 25 years.
It is noteworthy to state here that the primary goal of the fertilizer regulatory system is to increase agricultural production for national food security, which can only be achieved through the provision of quality fertilizers and other key farm inputs.
Nanono noted that the new act, which is being put into action, will not only sanitize the sector and ensure only quality materials are sold to farmers, but will also protect the investment of honest producers and importers of the product. He added that to ensure effective implementation of the act, the ministry has produced clear guidelines.
The system will eliminate the rampant cases of fertilizer sharp practices across the country in the areas of nutrient deficiency and adulteration, mildew grains, short weight. The act will also protect your investment as manufacturers, blenders or distributors, as well as other service providers along the fertilizer value chain.
The event also featured several presentations and interactions where key stakeholders bared their minds on the subjects.
Since time immemorial, Nigeria's forests have been blessed with oil palm trees. Everywhere you turn in the south and in the north, a palm tree stares back at you. But a palm tree will remain just that, a tree, until it is cultivated, nurtured, fed and catered for. Only then can you begin to see the economic benefits that oil palm holds. For Nigeria, that journey began sometime in the late 19th century and early 20th century on a disorganized individualistic level. Tonight, on Partnership for Development, we'll attempt to trace the origin of organized palm oil production in Nigeria vis-à-vis the efforts of an institution of government, the journey so far, and where Nigeria stands among the Committee of Palm Oil Producing Nations of the world. We'll also look at palm oil as a commodity, its potentials, and how the nation can turn its fortunes around using that commodity. Do stay with us.
We'll try to avoid any chemical form of fertilizer or anything.
So from this day, what we learn here, that is what we take our very good.
I hope you are following the normal procedure of feeding. We'll be fascinated seeing things moving.
This is an oil palm estate. There are many of them throughout the country, especially along the southern belt of Nigeria. For serious palm oil growers and producers in the country, this is what you find: well spaced out palm trees, cultured and nurtured for many years. Before the 1940s, it wasn't exactly so. What the country had were oil palm trees growing wild, with local communities harvesting the palm fruits and producing oil from them. The oil palm, known as Elias guinensis, originated in the tropical rainforest region of West Africa. In fact, Nigeria was the largest exporter of palm oil in the world between 1860 and 1950.
It was a commodity that was growing because of demand in Europe. Demand for margarine, for using margarines, demand for using as lubricants in the railway lines. So, and the export was coming mostly from Nigeria, from the coastal belt of Nigeria, and then it was the Guinea coast. So you can find that the crop actually has its name as Elias guineensis. Guineensis means in Guinea Coast. So that's how the crop came about. So what then happened was that there was a lot of supply from Nigeria in particular. Nigeria dominated the world because we had large expanse of groves, natural groves on planted palms, which is part of the landscape, part of the wild. Yes, in the wild. In the wild, they're part of the landscape. They're part of the forest, we say, forest landscape. So when people naturally exploited it, so they were not farming it as such.
The increasing global demand for palm oil will then force Indonesia and Malaysia, who originally only had oil palm as an ornamental crop, to go into intentional cultivation of oil palm for palm oil production. This was in the early 1900s. As the commodity grew in use and demand, there was a need for Nigeria to organize production through the establishment of oil palm plantations.
By the late 1940s and early 50s, the regional governments of Eastern Nigerian government and Western Nigerian government started to establish plantations, from which now the oil began to come out, and so that also augmented what was coming from the groves. So that put Nigeria also in the lead up to maybe the mid-1960s.
At the dawn of the 1970s, Indonesia and Malaysia surpassed Nigeria in palm oil production. While the two Southeast Asian nations expanded oil palm plantations annually by hundreds of thousands, expansion in Nigeria was relatively slow. Today, Indonesia is the largest producer of palm oil with well over 13 million hectares of oil palm. Malaysia comes second with roughly 6 million hectares. Nigeria, with around 2.6 million hectares of cultivated and natural oil palm groves, is the world's fifth largest producer of palm oil. Apart from land, yield is a major factor, and this depends on the quality of seeds and farming practices. Established in 1939, the Nigeria Institute for Oil Palm Research, NIFOR, is one of the institutes under the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. It has the mandate to research into oil palm production in Nigeria, among other crops, through the production of quality seeds and dissemination of useful information for improved practices and yield. Oil palm has a comprehensive breeding and seed production process here.
And what we currently do in plant breeding division is to carry out genetic improvement of the oil palm so that we can now give improved materials or varietal releases to the farmer, to increase the yield, reduce the stem increment, increase oil quality, and above all, resistance to diseases that might affect the production of the oil palm.
You can see the bags and the bunches well labeled on top of each. This is Durafil. And you know what we do? These seeds are purely Dura. We now cross Piscifera pollen to give it the EWS, which is the hybrid.
NIFOR practices a double-staged nursery comprising the pre-nursery and the main nursery.
We normally get our seed from a seed production division. It's an improved variety called Tenera. Much work has been done on it before we could get them out. You know, in the wild, we have Dura and Piscifera. But the moment the plant breeder might have done their work, we'll get the extension work seed. So once it's ready, we bring them down to nursery here.
Seeds are planted in small polythene bags and tendered at the pre-nursery for a period of 3 months before they are moved to the main nursery.
So within the course of that 3 months, preparation must have been on in the main field. If it's virgin forest, that is primary forest, talk of clearing, felling, stubbing, and what have you, then you do the packing. We bring in tractor, plow comes in, we plow the field. After plow, we harrow it. Then we now select another size of bag, which is 12 by 14 gauge 500. We feed them one after the other in the main feed.
Here, NIFA raises up to 500,000 seedlings at its main field and more than 750,000 at its pre-nursery annually. However, their capacity is only limited by demand. A nursery cycle for oil palm usually lasts between 10 and 14 months before transplanting is done. One important part of the palm oil industry is processing. In fact, there can be no palm oil without milling. At NIFA's Agric Engineering Division, there is a mandate to fabricate and produce milling equipment for the production of palm oil. These equipment, at various sizes and capacity, include the digester screw press, sterilizer, clarifier, and storage tanks. They are fabricated here on demand and sold to palm oil producers. The clarifier is required to turn crude palm oil into special palm oil. But apart from fabricating for buyers, a daily test run is done for their equipment. Here, palm oil is produced on a small scale using the fruits harvested from experimentation farms. The process begins with taking out the fruits from the bunch after fermentation.
The fruit that pours off is taken to the fruit spade. This is the fruit spade, to remove the calyx and dirt from the fruit. So what we have eventually will be clean fruit. So the clean fruit is taken to the sterilizer, where it will be cooked using steam for less than an hour. Then after cooking, which is the sterilization process, then it's taken to the digester screw press that is working now. And then it's a two-machine one. The digester screw press is a two-machine one. It digests and presses out the oil, which is called at this stage crude palm oil.
It is from here that the crude palm oil is fed to the clarifier to be refined into special palm oil, SPO, stored and ready for market. Away from NIFA, there are many Nigerians that engage in palm oil production at various scales. Indeed, the business is a lucrative one once the farmer breaks even at the 7th year. However, economic gains begin to stream in at the 4th year.
I actually acquired the land 1995, late 95. Then by 1996, we have started planting. And it's been interesting. Within the first 9-10 years, you have recovered all your investment.
It is truly profitable. Mr. Aburime is one farmer who got his seedlings from NIFA. At a conservative rate of 500 naira per bunch, each tree can produce between 18 and 25 bunches every year. For those who engage in processing, the profit margin increases. The potential for Nigeria is huge. To get it right with palm oil, the country would need to boost its hectareage, grow more oil palm trees, invest more in research to boost yield, and exploit the many benefits that the tree holds for humanity. Only then can we truly say we are taking advantage of a tree that continues to produce for as long as it lives, a crop that has no end, and a sector that can generate employment for tens of millions of Nigerians along the value chain.
Wow! Now what an insightful package that was. Global palm oil production was estimated at between 70 and 80 million metric tons in 2019, with a projected market value of more than $25 billion by 2025. The question is, how much of that figure will Nigeria claim? Well, state governments can start now by dedicating lands for oil palm growers and supporting farmers with necessary inputs. Private investors can also key into the sector and participate in a value chain that provides wealth in all forms and all year round. Let us now take words from a farmer in our next segment, Farmers Speak. Stay with us.
I think the Nigerian government should focus more on improving oil palm production in Nigeria, because it's like in 28 states of Nigeria we have oil palm scattered all over the place. Because oil palm, like we know, is the red oil of, gold of the future. Because a lot of money is being made from oil palm. Palm oil today is more expensive than crude oil in the world international market. Palm oil is more expensive. So if we're able to put more efforts in production of oil palm, I think Nigeria will be rich.
Sugarcane refers to several species and hybrids of tall perennial grasses that are used for sugar production. They belong to the economically important flowering plant family that includes maize, wheat, rice, sorghum, and many forage crops. It is native to the warm temperate to tropical regions of India, Southeast Asia, New Guinea, and some other parts of Africa. It accounts for 79% of sugar produced. Most of the rest is made from sugar beets. Sugarcane juice is alkaline in nature because of the high concentration of calcium, magnesium, potassium, iron, and manganese, which helps prevent diseases like cancer that cannot survive in an alkaline environment. Thus, it is useful in fighting various types of cancer, such as prostate and breast cancer. Sugarcane has other benefits such as aiding digestion, heart disease prevention, weight loss, and for treating skin imperfections. Nigeria is a big producer of the sugarcane, with a land potential of over 500,000 hectares of suitable cane fields capable of producing over 3 million metric tons of sugarcane. Nigeria's sugarcane production hovered around 1.42 million tons in 2018, a slight reduction from 1.49 million tons the previous year. Much of northern Nigeria, including states like Kwara, Kaduna, Jigawa, Adamawa, and Sokoto, supports sugarcane cultivation, provided water for irrigation is available.
Now, we did say the oil palm has several benefits, and tonight we were only able to take one: palm oil. In subsequent editions, we'll do well to bring you the other products and commodities you can get from the oil palm tree. Until then, we can only say thank you for spending your evening with us. Do remember to wash your hands, wear a mask in public, and keep a safe distance. I'll see you all next week.